Dude, if it wasn't for this piece of technology, dude, what would we do?
I don't know.
Because I would have no clue how to figure out how to record something onto a computer without this. I'm dead serious.
Legendary piece of equipment.
Because War Mode was talking about that before they got a Rodecaster, because they were broke before they blew up.
Yeah.
They were on Matt and Shane's secret podcast, and that episode name was Shark Tank, because Billy and Spud were sitting there begging Shane to buy them a fucking Rodecaster because they couldn't afford one, dude. And Shane was literally just sitting there just going, give me your what's it called, like your breakdown as to why you need this.
Yeah. I think it would be pretty different if you were like trying to do like a solo podcast. Like, because then all you would really need is like a USB microphone and a USB headset. You could plug it up and record, get some software on the computer and just do it that way. But when you want to have multiple setups like this and have the ability to tune every mic and do the soundboard and do the volumes and do everything, that piece of technology is just insane.
Just being able to click the record button and it creates just one file for you to do.
One track. That's it.
How did they...
massive.
Shout out Sweden, dude. How did they even figure that shit out?
I'm not that smart.
I was telling you, I wonder if they did the Rodecaster Pro 3. What if you're able to just hook up a camera to it and it just does it perfectly? You hit one button record and all of it just comes together into one file.
That would be huge. That would be huge. That would take a flash drive out of our process.
Yeah.
All right, so last few episodes we've been starting out with how the week's been going. So how's the week been going?
I had to work all week. Michelle's lazy ass, dude, couldn't get to her pickups yesterday. I had to go pick them up for her. But she's also working 2 jobs, so I can't really blame her.
So there's a genuine reason there.
Yeah, she had like 1 hour sleep in between her third shift at her other job and this one.
Third shift.
Yeah, that's just because her son broke his leg, and he can't afford to pay his bills right now because he's on the workman's comp in Tennessee. Two a damn 12-pack and 2 cans of dip. So.
Wait. How old is Michelle?
51.
Okay.
And she's trying to help out her son survive her.
Okay. So she's good mom. Good mom working 2 jobs trying to help her son get through some medical bills.
Not that, and he's suing, and he's out of work because...
He's suing?
Yeah.
Stop raising my insurance prices.
He's suing a hotel because he was on a work trip, and he fell in the parking lot. And and this happened in like December, remember whenever it was all icy? He fell in their parking lot and just broke his ankle.
So he's suing the hotel for that?
Yeah. And the company he works for.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't understand. If I fall down and bust my ass, that's my fault.
Dude, if I break my leg, if I'm walking a package to somebody's front door, I'm going to be dead honest with you. And I step in a fucking hole in somebody's yard and my fucking leg just goes sideways, dude, I'm fucking suing the shit out of FedEx, dude.
And that's why our insurance prices are so high.
Dude, as soon as I turn 26, I'm free balling, dude. I'm no insurance.
No more insurance?
Yeah, none. If I go to the hospital for some major medical emergency, they're going to be like, sir, you owe us $250,000. And I'm going to say, no, I don't.
No.
I'm not paying. I'll say, I would give y'all $10 a month until I'm dead. How about that?
No, they wouldn't even do that. You just say, don't pay. I'm not going to pay.
I wonder, I'm
not going to pay. They'll just take that, put it off as a loss and on their annual statements, write it off on their taxes as a loss.
I would have people calling me, dude, I've already done this shit before. Whenever I lived on my own over there at Post Oak, I moved back to my parents' house. I still had a bill with Spectrum. I had the router still probably over there at the fucking house. I just stopped payment with Spectrum. They put me in collections trying to scare. I don't give a fuck, dude. I have no credit anyway. They put me in collections. They're like, you need to pay us like $7. What the hell is that?
That's my phone. Vibrate.
They tried to send me a letter in the mail over there. And here's the difference between generations. My mom was even like, Hagen, you've got to pay this. They put you in collections. And I was like, I'm not paying that. And I still haven't paid it to this day. And I had somebody from a Florida phone number call me. Because I think they sold my collections debt off to a. Ain't that what collections is? The company sells your debt off to a collections
Yeah, the company
agency?
takes your debt and says, hey, we've got a customer that's not paying. Will you buy this for pennies on the dollar?
And then try to get money out of the
And
dude.
try to get money out of
I
it.
got a phone call from Florida and a letter. Somebody in Florida called me. It was like, hey, I was just at work driving around the FedEx truck. I answered the phone. Hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so collections agency. You have an outstanding payment due, and if you don't do this, we might have to take legal action against you. And I just went, all right, beep. I haven't paid since, dude. I'm sitting here just going, hey, my dad told me it all goes away in 7 years anyway. And that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it all goes away at some point because they just say, this guy's just not going to cooperate.
I wonder if you get a credit card. Now, hear me out on this because this might be considered fraud. What if you just get like a bunch of credit cards and you just fucking use all that money and then you just don't pay it?
I think it depends on the amount, ultimately. If you're under like maybe $2,500,
Yeah.
you know, something reasonable, it's like not that much.
And then you just don't
After
pay
a
it.
little while, they're just going to leave you alone because it's like, all right, whatever. We're making billions of dollars a year. $2,500 is just not going to fuck us up that bad. After a little bit of time of us harassing you, we'll leave you alone and just
'Cause they're
kind of
gonna just
ride
be
it
like, dude, this
off
dude's
and
not
get
gonna
rid
pay.
of it because it's $2,500 fucking dollars. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
We're making hundreds and millions and billions of dollars
I think
a
I
year.
still owe that collections agency. I think they were trying to charge me, and then they've tried to say interest. It's probably up to like $1,000 now.
I took Lauren out for her birthday last year to the park, went out there to downtown Chattanooga and parked in a parking lot that I've never, ever paid for parking in.
Dude.
And they've never given me a ticket. They've never said anything. But this one time, I guess they fixed their cameras on the little pull-in. They got a picture of my truck and a picture of my license plate, sent me a letter in the mail and say, you owe us $50 for parking in our parking lot and not paying for it. And I just went, I'm going to just ignore this.
Dude, fuck
you.
His RPA.
I have no idea who. Republic, I think, is Republic Parking.
Republic Parking Agency.
Somewhere, it would literally, their headquarters is in Florida.
Yeah.
So they sent me a letter like 2 months later saying, hey, you didn't pay us the $50 for your non-parking late fee, whatever. You owe us now $75 because you didn't pay. Penalty. Here's a penalty. Here's another $25 tacked onto your bill. If you don't pay us, we're sending it to collections. And I called them. And I said, hey, can I speak to your account manager for the Chattanooga, Tennessee? We don't have an account manager for Tennessee. I said, it's okay. Let me talk to you then. I said, I've got a letter in the mail saying that I owe y'all $75 for parking in a parking lot and not paying for it. And y'all are threatening to send that to collections. I said, I would like to know your monthly revenue on this parking lot. Sir, I'm not obliged to give out that information. And I said, you're going to come after me for $75?
And they own all the Chattanooga.
And you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on these parking lots? You can kiss my ass. Never received another letter. No more phone calls. It never went to collections. And I just went, fuck you. You going to come after me for $75?
Dude, and speaking of paying fucking debts and shit, it's tax season. Last year I was late on my payment or whatever to the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
I ended up giving them like $2,700 last year.
Shit.
I missed out on like $14. They sent me a letter in the mail, penalized me for that. The state of Georgia did, and was like, "You owed us $14 extra.
$14 fucking dollars."
I'm like, an accountant gave me the number to send y'all the fucking cashier's check, dude. And then, but here's the whole kicker: in the letter they said we demand you pay, like it was up to like $55.17 or something. But the wording of it was, "We demand you to pay."
Yeah, the moment you put demand in there, it's
I'm like,
nah.
I'm like, dude, you're like 1776 will commence again, dude. I swear to God, the state of Georgia's going down.
Hey, I just got a notification the other day, though, that Brian Kemp signed another bill into law that says we're going to get another tax rebate.
Are we gonna
Just get $250 into your bank account.
dude? I need to move to Tennessee so bad, dude.
No, you don't. They have raised all of their taxes in Tennessee.
Dude,
Georgia is now lower than them. Well, our income tax is coming down, but our sales tax is going up. So they're like, we're going to help you here, but we're going to fuck you here. So in reality, we're not really helping you at all.
So have an address on the line and buy everything in Georgia and just pay no state income tax in the state of Tennessee.
Boy, that'd be nice.
I'm doing it.
I'm just waiting for Trump to abolish income tax altogether.
A Tesla. Did you see the Tesla ad, dude?
Tesla?
Yeah, he was on the front lawn of the White House just going, "This is a Tesla. Look at this. What a great car. They won't allow me to drive it."
What the hell?
I love Trump, dude. Dude, speaking of, what's going on? See, I've missed out on a lot of the political news that's going on in the past week because the whole Nico Iamaleava situation has taken over my entire news feed and algorithm right now. You know, the Tennessee quarterback that left and ended up losing like $1.5 million in the process. Jesse.
Sorry. I'm reading updates on me going out of town next week.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to your week then. Before I get
my week, this
shit.
week was just perfectly. It was peachy. I didn't have any issues until yesterday when they said you're going out of town. You're going out of town for the first time in 6 years at this company. You're going out of town.
Your ass is about to be on the road every week for the rest of the year, dude.
I better not.
You're gonna have to go find another job, dude.
I've already applied. I got a text the other day asking if I want to come to another company, but I just kind of stared at it. Because I was standing in the cafe at downtown TVA having a massive double meat Philly cheesesteak burrito made. And I was just standing there, and I got a text. And it's like, "Are you still interested in this job?" And I went, "Look at what I'm doing right now." Hell no.
Yeah. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, "Just this one last week, can you do it?" And they're going to do that for like 2 months. And you're going to be like, "Yo."
No, if they try to do it 3 weeks in a row, I'm going to be like, "Look,
you said
I've never traveled for y'all. I told y'all back when I started that I have no interest in traveling."
Yeah.
Because I have a family. This is the whole reason I have this job is because I was having a kid.
Yeah.
I can't be picking up and leaving every fucking week. Leave me alone. So, and my boss texted me and Grayson both and was like giving us all the updates, and they're over here talking. And it's like, oh my God. So I was trying to catch up on that a little bit.
How long is that job supposed to last that you're going to?
It's a TVA job, bro. Them things can last.
So you will be on the road.
Years.
You're going to be on the road for years.
I worked downtown TVA for 3 years. Worked Meigs County TVA project for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Most of my career here has been TVA jobs.
Dude, they're going to have
forever.
They're going to have you on the road for years, dude.
Well, the biggest problem is not actually doing the work and actually getting our controls on the units. The biggest problem is the commissioning, because we commission all of our stuff ourselves. We test all of our sensors. We test all of our output. We test everything. We make sure that the unit functions and everything does what it's supposed to do, whether it's a chiller, an air handler, anything. We test everything. And then they hire a third-party commissioning team to come in and do all of the same shit again, and we have to be right there holding their hand, telling them how this shit works.
Dude,
just blows me away.
We got Garrett over here with the government work, dude. We can't touch that tree underneath.
Our taxes are paying his salary.
Dude, that reminds me. I seen a meme earlier. It was one of those. What was the dude that got that huge?
Apologies.
That dude that got that huge. Fucking, what do they call them? They put the metal plates on the side.
Killdozer.
Yeah, the damn bulldozer. Goddamn, that just slipped my mind, dude. My early age dementia.
Killdozer.
One of these days, dude, you're just gonna see a million of them just rolling out and just going, "Yep, this is it. We're flipping this shit upside down." That video is so awesome because he took out the police station, the city hall,
and like commissioner's office,
two other businesses that were like plotting against him. Then the former mayor's house, he just went and just bulldozed that shit down. Then he shot himself in the head, sadly, dude. He's a damn American, true patriot, dude. Shout out Killdozer.
What a catastrophe.
What a beast. Dude, they were like trying to, what were they trying to do? Make him spend a ton of money or something?
I don't know. He owned like an exhaust shop or something,
Yeah.
I think.
And they were trying to make him spend a ton of money to like make sure that his shit can, and he was like, dude, these people give me problem after problem after problem after
Daily.
problem. And then one day he just went,
Fuck it.
I'm going to buy this huge bulldozer. I'm going to weld fucking metal plates and concrete to the side of it. And I'm about to fuck y'all shit up, dude. What a beast. Had cameras connected so he could see outside. Had fucking rifles set up inside of it.
He had a Barrett set up. He drilled a hole in the back of the Killdozer and had a Barrett shoved through it. Couldn't see what he was shooting at. He just knew that he wanted to send 50 caliber bullets in semi-automatic fashion out the back of the thing.
Beast, dude.
God.
Dude, that's like you're just going to see me. This is all made up, dude. I'm making this up. I will never do this. You're just going to see Fort Oglethorpe if they fuck with me. You're just going to see a Killdozer just rolling down the street, taking out the police station, City Hall. Yeah. Or in Ringgold, driving it all the way out to Ringgold, taking out their City Hall in the courthouse.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised there ain't more of those.
I thought that Ringgold had like a population of like 3,300 people.
Dude, there's so many fucking people. That
70,000.
Do you remember?
Pulled up the Catoosa County website the other day, and it was like, Catoosa County's home to 70,000 people and is considered the gateway to Georgia. And I'm like,
ah! Here's what's fucked up. Do you remember whenever we were kids, like 8, 9, 10 years old probably, before me and you even knew each other? I'm sure you went down Battlefield Parkway on like probably a Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you're 8, 9 years old, it's straight through.
yeah.
Nobody's on the road.
There was nobody out here.
You fucking go on the road. Like today on the way to your house, just to get to Highway 27, you know, all it is 3 red lights. Take a right to go. 3 red lights, dude. I swear to God, dude, there's fucking... The shit is overloaded, dude. Stop moving here, dude.
Constant.
It's not a good place to live. Do not move here, dude.
Well, you know, it was a good place to live. And that's the ultimate deathly cycle of every peaceful place you ever live.
I was just making a joke, dude.
Everybody figures out that, hey, this is a nice place to live. We're all going to move here. Oh, my God, this isn't a nice place to live anymore. And they all just disappear.
We're being fucking invaded, dude. California tags. Seattle,
Indiana,
Washington,
Louisiana.
New
I've
York.
seen so many tags.
These
and it's just
motherfuckers are moving from these liberal shitholes that they voted for.
Exactly.
And they're moving here to try to change. And they're going to probably vote the same fucking way they did whenever they were over there. That turned that shit into a shithole.
Yep.
That shit just
Well, you got to take into consideration, too. Some of them are going to move here and go, this is great. And then
try to change shit.
The real community that's here, they're going to realize, oh, these people don't really like what I'm doing. They don't like what I'm saying. Maybe I should leave.
It's rare, but
so there's
you see
few of them that are going to leave.
I see a lot of it in Oodwall. On my route specifically, over there on Oodwall Ringgold, where you passed me the other day.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 or 3, but the Biden Harris shit in people's front yards, like right before the election. I've seen that. And then I've seen like 2 of those gay ass flags where it was like, in this household, we believe in science. We trust the science. Everyone's, well, you know, those like signs and it's in rainbow color going down.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
that's rare out this way.
you're in rural Tennessee, you
And then
fucking
you
idiot.
when you do see it, it's like, what the fuck?
It's like, do you not know where you are? You're in rural Tennessee, rural Georgia, and you see that shit. You're like, dude, that ain't how we do this.
Doing?
Move to fucking Atlanta.
Go to Atlanta. Exactly. Get closer to Atlanta. Go
even-
to Florida.
Even
Go to
Nashville,
Florida.
even Nashville, but dude, somehow Nashville still goes red, and that's a huge fuck. Usually the huge populations.
That's where all the country singers are.
Do you know like usually the huge population centers go blue every time, like Atlanta,
Yeah.
Austin, Texas.
You can expect a city to lean more blue anyway.
Austin, Texas, that's a big old blue dot, right? Surrounded by red. Atlanta is a blue dot surrounded by red. But somehow they got Nashville, that huge city. How? And I think Dallas is another one that goes red too. And that's a huge city.
Dallas is blue.
Yeah, Dallas. Okay.
Dallas is blue.
Yeah. Memphis is, I think, the only blue state, or blue county in Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I always wondered about that. Why do huge population centers always go blue?
City folk.
Dude,
City folk. It's a different type of personality, different type of mindset. It's
like
different people.
They want more help from the government.
It's different people. They live in their own bubbles. They wear their emotions on their sleeves, and it's just like, I feel like I should be supported. I feel like my feelings are the most important. Freedom of speech, motherfucker. I'm allowed to do it. And it's like, no, you need to have a little bit of common sense, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up and realize that life is not all about you. Simple as that. They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it. Hell, the fall of Greece, the fall of Rome. You know what they were doing at the end of their empires?
The same shit we're doing now.
They were bitching about gender.
Yeah. Men were wearing women's clothes.
They were bitching about gender, and that caused the
They
fall
hated the
of
king.
empires. The United States, I think, has a slight chance. Maybe I'm biased, but maybe it has just a slight chance to overcome that, because there's enough of us here to say, this is retarded. We see the mistakes of our
The
past, and
founding
this is
fathers
retarded.
hit it on the nose, though, with the Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of press.
Man.
But they hit it on the nose with the Second Amendment.
Oh, yeah.
That protects that protects everything else we got.
And that's why they attacked the Second Amendment so much.
They're trying to do that shit
everybody
again.
talks about that.
They're trying to do that shit again with that Florida State shit. They're like saying, "Oh, we need to gun reform, all that shit." Florida is not going to do that.
You know, we've had 2 hired killers try to kill the president since he got.
And nobody wants to take away gun stealing. Beast. Nobody's going to take the guns.
You're
anyway.
not. You just ain't gonna do it.
Alex Jones on Piers Morgan, dude. 1776 will commence again, dude. I swear. It would, too. They might be able to.
It
would. And then the perfect example of that shit is what happened during COVID to places that didn't have guns. Australia, UK, dude. The government fucking kicked the people's ass, dude. Guess what? Especially in America, some of the left-leaning states, they got their ass kicked. But for the most part, where we live, it was fine. Because everybody was like...
I mean, hell, that was the whole reason Joe Rogan moved out to Austin, Texas. It was like, this is normal people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said the other day with Ron White, he said even his kids were like, oh, we don't have to go out with a mask and all that shit no more. It's like, no,
it's like,
these people are...
Why
even though
people,
Austin's a big blue dot in
why
the
is it normal here?
Yeah. Dude, I wonder
Be
if
advised, Garrett approaches.
I wonder if that has a lot to do with really just the mentality of the South, or just the culture of it. Is a lot of the South is technically kind of liberal, because everybody, for the most part, that's from the South is always like, you do you, and I won't say anything about what you're doing.
I don't want to separate it into North and South, because there's a lot of people up in the North that have common
hate that
sense.
shit. And then they move down here.
You know, and a lot of them may have, but it's just like, you need to carry a little bit of common sense and understand how the world works and understand the Constitution of your country. You need to understand, you know, and be competent enough to understand what life is and the way you need to live it. And it's not everything has to be a race war or a political war.
Me and you just went into a deep conversation about that. Why? It involves that Florida State shit. Why does the news media and everything have to fucking make it about race every fucking time, dude? We solved this years ago.
I don't understand, because it literally, just like the conversation we just had, you know, Martin Luther King Jr.,
it's not about the color of your skin. Judge somebody by the content of their character.
And it's like,
you had the perfect quote too about there's white junkies, there's black junkies, there's Mexican junkies.
Exactly.
They're fucking all
I'm going to
junkies.
avoid all of them on the street, but
Yes.
I can go to work and come face to face with the darkest skinned Nigerian or African, whatever it may be, and shake his hand because he's a good guy. I don't see the color. And I just taught my 6-year-old that the other day.
And that's all the news wants to talk about.
Because it's a hot point for these people that live with their emotions on their sleeves, and they live in this political bubble where everything is about the way that they feel and what they find offensive and what they find to be mean. And it's like, no, look, you need to grow the fuck up and realize that doesn't matter the color of your skin. It matters the way that you behave in life. That's the important part.
And then with the way the news works and shit too, I wonder if they're trying to make people scared to talk about certain things. And then
of course they don't want anybody talking. The government's paying their bills, and the government doesn't want anybody to talk common sense because common sense is the death of the government.
But I'm saying they're scared to let people talk about like certain things. But do you know, like deep down psychologically, if you're scared to talk about something, that changes the way that your brain works.
You're going to self-censor.
Yeah, you're going to be basically like mind control on like everybody.
Yeah. You're allowing the opinions of other people to affect your decisions.
Dude,
affect your decisions.
We're just coming full circle on this whole shit, dude. Every time, dude.
It doesn't make sense to me. You have to get over it. You have to live your life in the way that you see fit. Now,
and JP said something about this too. The risk of freedom of speech is you're going to risk hurting people's feelings, and get the fuck over it.
We also have to take into consideration that a lot of the world doesn't possess the mental capability to understand.
Like your boy, the British dude, not your boy, but the fucking
not
British
my
dude.
boy.
The dude, what was his name? Fucking Mr. Faggot that's over here. If you're not an expert.
If you're not an expert. What was his name?
If you're not an expert.
God, we just looked it up.
I know. I'd like to forget that dude anyway, but.
Well, I'm going to pull it up.
The dude that was debating Dave Smith on the JRE, the British dude that was like, if you're not an expert on a certain topic, you shouldn't be able to talk about that topic. Motherfucker, shut the hell up. A man that watched a YouTube video
Douglas Murray.
Fuck
Douglas Murray.
Douglas Murray, dude, please listen to this. Shut up, dude. A guy that just watched a YouTube video is speaking.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't have to be, and that goes back to the conversation we were having before the podcast.
And that's the British mindset too, because they never grew up.
It's considered old world, in my opinion.
Me too.
That's an old world belief that you can't talk about a topic unless you have all of the information, and it's like no. Because the freedom that we've been given allows us to study any topic and gather
and say anything we fucking
information on that topic and develop an opinion on that topic. And we have beliefs that follow those opinions. Good Lord.
No, Garrett's mic's on now.
There it is.
But he hasn't said anything yet, so we're good.
Garrett's live. We're here, and we're already pretty deep. So,
what were you just saying, dude? Is Douglas Murray is a faggot? Is that what you were saying?
Allegedly.
I think that fact check true by True American Patriots.
It just kills me that there's still a mindset out there in the world that believes that you can't talk about a subject unless you're an absolute expert in it. And
that dude's just pissed because Joe has a gigantic show and he'll talk about anything he fucking wants to.
Exactly, and that's why there was so much confrontation in that episode. But it makes so much sense to me that there's still people in this world that have that old world mindset where it's like, no, listen, that's the whole reason we have the freedom and the capability to research and learn about the topics that we want to know about and find the truth. We don't need to limit our truth finding and our conversations to the experts.
People are a lot smarter than you think they are. Because you're supposed to listen to something and take what you think about it and
formulate your own beliefs.
Because you can
opinions.
hear something, and we were talking about this like last week. You can like look and like listen to the news, but you're like, that's not real.
Yeah.
You could feel whether something's real or not.
It's essentially rage bait or propaganda.
What's that called? The truth, like the truth energy. You could feel whenever like somebody's telling the truth. But like if you watch Don Lemon or fucking some bullshit like that, like Fox News, CNN, all that shit. They're all in like the same category.
Any type of public media, you're just gonna have a hard time trying to figure out if they're telling the truth or not.
It's just all fake, dude. And they're like the biggest proponents of the race shit, which is what we were just talking about. Of like, dude, please stop.
Get over yourselves. Shit, get over it. It's not.
People are people.
It's not here. But so many people pay attention
That dude was
to
just
the
pissed.
mainstream that it's still here. But it's only here because of the people in the mainstream and the people that believe it.
They've lost like all their fucking power too. They have
Yeah,
nothing.
they have no power. CNN, Fox News, doesn't matter. ABC News, New York Times.
And I think that dude Douglas Murray was pissed because Joe wasn't sucking Israel's dong.
That's an entirely different conversation.
True. I think that's what it... Fact check true, dude. I listened to like 20 minutes of it and I'm like, I can't stand this pretentious fucking prick, dude. He's ridiculous.
I just can't help. When that comes up, when we start bickering and bitching and finding all these arguments about countries and states and borderlines and we're going to do this and we're going to bomb them and we're going to kill them and we're going to take this ideology off the planet, and I can't help but just revert back to, hey, we're living on this blue little fucking marble in this 90 billion light years of bullshit. Why the fuck are we fighting like this?
Me and you had the same point, dude, of the whole wars and shit. It's like, dude, how about we don't give our tax dollars to anybody else except for us? And not worry about what these other countries are fucking doing, dude. I'm tired of America having to be the fucking overseer of everything fucking going on all over the fucking world, dude. How about
I feel like
stick to America?
the entire civilization of this world should get together and look at each other and say, look, get over yourselves. We understand there's differences.
Yeah.
But we're on this rock together. Shut the fuck up. Turn your monkey brain off. Shut the fuck up and look up.
At night.
Look up.
Yeah.
This is where we're at. Take this bullshit out of it. Take it out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. You're gonna die. You're gonna die.
God, country, Tennessee, dude.
You're Everybody dies. And that's why the people that are so scared of death are trying to figure out the immortality. And that's why the demons are here to try and teach us immortality. And that's why we're in the situation we're in.
Dude, what about the CIA project that's going on? The people that are on the IV drip of the DMT, and they're trying to map out the DMT realm, and they're meeting with the demons and making deals with them and stuff. Shout out Alex Jones.
I don't believe demons are in the DMT realm. I've never had DMT. I've never.
What is the DMT realm?
I believe that's just a different stream of consciousness that we're not programmed to.
We talked about that after the cast. Was what if like all these substances, you know, like how you tune a radio?
Yeah.
There's radio waves coming through right now, but we can't hear them right now. But they're still coming through here. But if we get a radio and an antenna and you tune it to 106.5, the music will start playing.
And it changes.
What if these substances, all that shit, like the psychedelic, like are just different frequencies that you can be on? You take that substance and it's like your brain gets tuned to that station of like, here's what else is going on all around you all the time.
I do believe that that's there. I do believe that natural psychedelics that grow from the earth, such as, DMT,
and
psilocybin, anything like that.
We can only see certain colors of the spectrum.
We can't see like what is it, 80%
have you
of
seen
the
like
light
the bar
spectrum?
Yeah, like the bar, and we only see like one little.
We see like this little
Roy G. Biv.
Yeah,
of the whole thing.
We can't see anything else.
And what if that has to do? And what if consciousness is the same way, dude? What if there's a huge scale of consciousness, but technically we're only in this little part of it all the time? And you take a psychedelic and you get a little bit bigger, and you get to see a little bit more. Dude, I just blew my mind
temporarily.
I just blew my mind. Holy shit! I never even thought about that.
There's, that's plausible to me. That I do believe that there's something there, that anything that puts you in a different state of mind and allows you to think either more complex, more in depth, more, anything. That's a different state of consciousness.
And after all the things that we figured out, we still have no clue what this is, dude. The brain.
No, absolutely not.
What the fuck? And then what are dreams, dude? What even? Why do we do that?
I think that dreams are a natural expression of the DMT in your body, because our bodies produce DMT. And if anything is capable of producing an alternate reality, should be DMT because that's one of the most powerful psychedelics out there. Hell, that goes all the way back to the Bible. The burning bush.
Yeah.
What was the bush burning? It was the acacia bush. You know what happens when you burn the acacia bush? DMT is released in the smoke. It's there. Moses was tripping his ass off, but he was talking to God because God freaking designed it. He made it that way.
We talked about that last week too. What was the thing that the Indians said it was? The Native Americans? God came upon the earth, and then the mushrooms grew, and that's yeah. What was that called, dude?
That is that ties back to a book that I've heard about called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross.
Yeah, that dude was
Talking about how Christianity was supposedly, allegedly based upon fertility rituals and psilocybin.
Yeah.
That was what, allegedly Christianity was based on. Because psilocybin provided whoever took it to realize, oh shit, there's a guy up there that created all of this, and all we're meant to do here is procreate.
Yeah.
Because we are all supposed to be expanding God's consciousness. We're supposed to be expanding the thoughts of God and creating more of Him. That's the whole goal of this entire thing.
I don't know if it was the JRE. Here's another one, or a different podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about if you look at all the animals on the earth, we are so different from everything else. It's like we're alien basically to Earth.
Almost like it's by design.
Yeah. Like we're alien to Earth basically.
Yeah.
And
look at what we've done to it.
And they say that we come from chimps. Chimps have not changed in the slightest.
I can't have that argument because, if we come from chimps, you would think that it's somewhere, if we've been here for 86 whatever billions, millions, whatever.
Dude tried to explain it too, the stoned ape theory. He thought, then that ties to the sacred mushroom and the cross. The stoned ape theory.
Or
we ate mushrooms.
They found psilocybin and their brain size doubled.
Like the cavemen ate mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. But wouldn't you think that chimps in today's world would be doing the exact same thing? And if we've been here for billions and billions of years, you would think that some lineage of chimps would be turning into humans. What did chimps not do? Turn into humans. It's a joke.
Dude,
it's God's humor. It's God's humor.
It's
It's like, hey, look at this thing. It looks just like you. Might even think just like you. But you actually have more in common per your DNA
with a
to
banana.
A pig and a banana and a mushroom. Like, here's this thing that looks like you, thinks like you, has all the same appendages as you.
And do you think, mushrooms are older than dinosaurs though, right? Fungi
Alone
is older than dinosaurs.
Supposedly the oldest living organism.
So they were first.
I would assume so.
And they said...
But I don't believe that the Earth is millions or billions of years old either. I believe that we're only been here maybe 7,000 years.
I don't know.
A lot can happen in 6,000 or 7,000 years. I mean, here we are. We're in 2025. Imagine what the world's going to look like in 2025.
Here's the thing. We're in the year technically, 2025, like you said. And we know the things right now.
AD.
Where, we were wrong. Like, America was wrong in what they did. Like, went to war for 20 years. But we painted ourselves as, the good guy in that whole situation.
Yeah.
Do you really think they're telling us the truth about everything from... We didn't even get the truth about COVID, 5 years ago? Do you really think they're telling us or do they even know the actual truth of something that happened even 150 years ago?
No.
Dude.
I don't believe anything the government says is to be factual.
So what... You got people like Neil Eats Ass Tyson out here claiming the universe is 13 billion years old, 14 billion years old, and then these new telescopes are constantly proving all these smarty pants scientists wrong all the time, dude.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, now it might be this old, dude. They're constantly getting their fucking pants pulled
The
down.
universe itself may be that old. It may be. It may be. But my belief, my thoughts on it would be
Prove it.
God started it, and he just went to different little areas, and started worlds, and started stars, and started this, and started that. And it wasn't until about 6,000 or 7,000 years ago that he finally got to our little quadrant of the universe and said, I'm going to start life right here.
That's even if space is real, dude. Has anybody ever been up there? No.
But I do look at that motherfucker every night.
Is that real? What even is that?
I can see it,
Yeah, but
so I can
I don't know, dude.
slightly confidently assume that
Nobody's been up there. I don't think nobody's.
I don't
been
think
up
we
there.
ever went to the moon, personally.
I don't think anybody's been up into fucking like past the.
We can't get out of the Van Allen belt.
Me and you
so.
talking about this, dude. The Van Allen belt, wouldn't that just irradiate you basically?
Yeah,
You
it
just
doesn't
have
matter how
cancer
thick of a
immediately.
lead coating or anything you have on a spaceship.
And then you see the fucking pictures of the. It's like they just wrapped a fucking piece of aluminum in tinfoil and sent it up in fucking space.
And then you can compare the boot prints, you know, the famous photo of the boot print on the moon. It's got the treads in it. And then you look at the boots that the astronauts were actually wearing turned upside down, and it's a heel and a sole, looks like a cowboy boot. It's like, these are not even the same.
And what blew my mind, because I had a conversation with somebody about this. It's like, how far away is Mars?
Ooh, you're looking, that's
30-something million miles.
No, the moon alone is 330-something million miles away, I do believe.
Dude, that doesn't even, that number.
Well, hang on.
Dude,
let me verify.
My whole point is that number is retarded, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what
Bro,
I'm
I'm
saying?
telling you, I have fell into like a 3-hour deep space documentary.
They tell you, how do they know that star is 15 million miles away, dude? They're pulling that number out of their ass, dude.
Okay, no. I was terribly mistaken. The moon distance to Earth is 238,900 miles.
Is the moon even real, dude?
I don't know. You know, that brings you back into the hollow moon theory where they landed that probe on it
And it just went,
dong! You know, it's like, hey, this is a big metal ball floating around the planet. What
did
the fuck's
they
going
actually
on
send
here?
a drone to the moon?
I don't know.
Dude.
Do we really have probes on Mars, or is that just doctored photos from the deserts?
Dude, they come up with these numbers. Oh, that star right there is 15 million light years away. Dude, shut the fuck up. 15 million light years? You made that number up out of your ass, dude. They come up with this bullshit, and they try to feed it to you. Like Neil eats ass Tyson, dude.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've heard some pretty convincing science from the documentaries and stuff that I've watched, saying how they're able to measure the wavelengths of the light coming from yeah. But I've seen some. I'll send you the link to the,
And you
the
believe
video.
these people?
I take everything with a grain of salt. Everything. It doesn't matter if it's been proven and I watched it get proven. Take
Look,
it with a grain of salt.
Here's another one that's funny, though. I don't
Because
know.
I'm smart enough to know that I know nothing.
There's a truth frequency, dude, and everything. Dude, there is a dude that was trying to prove the Earth was flat.
I seen that with the flashlight.
No, he built his own rocket ship. He died, but while he was up there, he flew up in his own rocket ship. I can bet you, whenever he got up there, he probably went, "Damn, it's pretty fucking flat, dude." Before he fucking fell to the earth and exploded in a ball of fire, dude. But I'm not saying whether the earth is flat or not, dude. That's up to everybody else to decide on their own.
I've never been.
Me either.
I never will.
We're getting to that point now, especially with the internet and everything, where assume we're not going to
Just go ask Katy Perry. Didn't she just go to space?
Allegedly. We're not going to know whether or not anything is true without just seeing it with your own fucking eyes, dude. Or if it's caught on film. Because shit, people nowadays are just making shit up out of their fucking ass.
That's a fair point. If you don't see it with your own eyes, how do you know? For
Exactly.
absolute certain.
And they make
But
it.
that again falls back into the whole. I don't know that God exists.
You
I've
remember
never
that movie?
seen him.
You remember that movie 1984? This sends me down. I might just have a schizophrenic brain. Remember that movie 1984?
Yeah.
Where they're constantly at war with another great country, right? Dude, here's one for you. Here's a question: Is the Ukraine war even real? Is there actually a war going on over there? Or is Zelensky just fleecing our pockets for nothing? Just a whole made
Just
up
a massive propaganda war.
Yes.
Anything's possible.
They film it allegedly that all that shit that's going on over there. Who knows?
Look, I've seen short films on YouTube of guys making their own little short film in a war, and it's like that looks like it's freaking real.
Yeah.
Look at movies. I mean, anybody with a little bit of film knowledge could probably make a pretty convincing piece of material. So anything's possible. Anything's possible. But how do you get the entire world to collaborate with it?
COVID. They did it already.
Yeah, that they did. Anything's possible.
Dude, reptilian humanoid, dude.
I still can't believe we got
We're
flagged
sitting
for
here.
that.
We're sitting here. We have no fucking viewers at all, dude. Why is YouTube of all the things? And we're talking about crazy ass shit right now, dude. We've talked about crazy ass shit that's crazier than a reptilian humanoid before. But the one thing that they hit us on is reptilian human. That just makes me think they're real. I'm like, dude, it must be real.
Did I ever tell you about that? Yeah, we got flagged.
Out of all the things,
talking about reptilian humanoids,
dude, we bullshitted about random ass shit that's probably totally fake and false, dude. But the one thing they hit us on is reptilian.
Oh, there's
humanoids,
probably
dude.
90% of what we talk about is, what do they call it? Fringe theory. Like these are things that like barely anybody believes.
Dude. CIA coined the term conspiracy theory, dude. Back
They did.
whenever JFK got shot.
Yep, they did, to discredit those that were
And then we already
digging.
with like 8 episodes in, we get flagged immediately. You're a conspiracy theorist, dude. YouTube is literally using the CIA.
Wear it like a badge of honor.
The YouTube is using the CIA's coin term towards us, and we have no fucking viewers. What the fuck?
Oh.
Exactly.
All right, Garrett. Pause. How was your week?
Riff for 20 minutes dude, straight.
It was actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah? Yeah, Mr. Going on vacation to the mountain. Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Played in the damn campfire all damn week.
Yeah, that's what you said
Let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song. Our CAMPFIRESONG song. Shout out SpongeBob, dude.
All right, Garrett, explain your week while I go take a leak. That wasn't meant to rhyme.
All right, Garrett. Tell us your deepest, darkest secrets.
I've been down that route before.
Lay it all on the line.
No, I'm good.
All right. Moving on. Garrett, have you ever went back and listened to these whenever me and Jesse were talking about the craziest fucking shit of all time and just went, dude, these dudes are fucking idiots?
Nope. I have not. I haven't yet.
But have you listened to them and just went, holy shit? I wonder if you're just sitting
Some
there
of-
listening to it just going, what the fuck?
So, yes, there has been a couple before we started the video, doing the videos with the pod. With,
Like allegedly?
yeah. I've went back and listened to those, and it's like, what the fuck?
These motherfuckers are out here.
Yeah. Because we were bouncing off of walls, off of one subject, going to this, and then intertwining with another subject, and we were just all over the damn place.
That's awesome content, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That shit's fucking crazy.
I still haven't. There's only one podcast two that I listen to.
I haven't went back.
It's this one, and another one called Unsubscribe.
Oh, the ones you were showing me last week?
Yeah.
With like the Army dude and Marine dude.
That's the only two podcasts that I listen to. Is this one and Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe they're pretty funny. Those are,
Dude, your boy out in Hawaii downloads like every one of our episodes, dude.
yeah,
That dude is the man.
yeah.
He might be our number one fan, dude. Out there just getting shit on by what, the Navy, Army, Marine Corps?
Army.
Army.
He went out there to be a 91 Bravo. He thought he was going to be able to stay in the States, but
Did you work at all this week?
I worked one day.
No.
Worked a 10-hour shift Tuesday.
What'd y'all do? Nothing?
Put in driveway tiles all around the county.
That ain't bad.
No.
Dude.
No, I worked a 10-hour shift, and I was gonna have to work a 12, but I had close to 70-something hours of PTO, and I was like, I'm taking off. I'm going to the mountain. So I used 22 hours of PTO. Tuesday, I came home, got all my shit together, and I went up to the fucking mountain. I was
I don't blame
like,
you.
I'm disappearing. So I went up there for Tuesday night, all day Wednesday night, and then Thursday. Came back Thursday afternoon. Yeah, it was fun. I had fun
Hell
up there.
yeah.
Go up there and disconnect for a little bit.
Garrett, what's conspiracy you know about?
I don't believe in that shit.
No, I'm saying something crazy. Ghost. Go in front of the camera with that on, dude. This is Jesse's face reveal. Look at him. Oh, dude.
Simon Riley!
Well, just go ahead and sit back down.
The Bane mask on, dude.
Thought that'd be pretty funny. Where we at? What we doing? What we talking about?
Like 4 different things about your college.
About what?
He said, he took his PTO, went up to the mountain. He
Yeah.
he said he accidentally shit in his pants while he was up there at
No.
the change.
Really?
No.
Oh
man.
my god.
No.
You know, I'm not surprised.
I have had an accident like that before.
That's probably not something you want to talk about.
Yeah, talk about it. Where were you at? What happened?
I was working.
Oh, man, dude, that shit sucks.
9-degree weather. I had.
Oh, my God.
Right
had-
down into the muck boots.
No. I had blue jeans.
Was it a full shit or was it just a shart?
It was a full blown fucking shart.
Filled the boots up, man.
I didn't fill the boots. All I did was
But your
fill
underwear
my-
were ruined.
Huh?
Your underwear were ruined, were they?
Yes. Bad enough I had to come home, take a fucking shower.
Jeez.
It was horrible.
That's awesome.
It was just fucking horrible.
I had,
What a mess.
I had one of those where, like, you're hungover as shit at work and it's hot as fuck outside.
Fuck that.
And then you have the, and you go to fart and then you shit a little bit and you have to go find a fucking porta shitter and go wipe your ass in the middle of your shit.
I'm not real prone to shitting myself, so.
Dude, the sensors on your asshole are really good, dude. Like, it knows.
It's-
How does it know?
It knows when to close, and I'm gonna tell you what: if it starts throbbing and you,
And then your stomach starts
you're
hurting.
fixing to just waterfall right out.
Have you noticed this
I
too?
don't-
Have you ever left work or something, like
Toss
left
me a
somewhere
bear.
and was on your way home, and your asshole literally, you could feel the shit coming on your way home, and you're like, okay, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna have to take a shit.
Oh yeah.
And your asshole knows.
When you're
Where
getting
you're-
close,
like whenever-
it can smell that porcelain. I'm
And
telling you.
You have to bust the door down,
Yes.
sprint into the back, because your asshole's like,
If
"We're
you're
home,
not
we're home."
running, you're gonna be running.
You get the red alarm bells going off right here. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Here it comes.
Shout out Michelob Ultra.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Open the gates.
It's coming. And you're sitting there like undoing your belt, and it's already just. And that timing, it has to be perfect. Otherwise, you got to change your
I
boots.
always got to put down toilet paper before I shit because I hate Poseidon's Kiss, dude. You know, the splash down where the water comes up and splashes your asshole?
I kind of like it. It's kind of refreshing.
Pause. I'm sitting there, like, some of my shits are so violent that the splashdown is so hard. I'm like looking underneath the toilet seat, and you see like the brown speckles like underneath the toilet seat. You're like, damn, dude, that, like, I've been just fucking hammering this porcelain, dude. And then I think, holy shit, I need to
You
probably,
might have a digestive issue.
I might need to actually like wipe my whole ass or something, because you know those little brown speckles are probably just still getting all over the. I think it's because I'm eating like 20 wings and then drinking like a 12-pack of beer.
And those fucking jalapeno hot dogs you get from.
Yeah.
Jeez.
My gut's
I'm
working.
amazed
overtime.
you can even eat them things.
Dude, I ate that shit with
We ought
deli,
to bring my dad down. He's got a pretty good shit story from work.
with deli mustard and onions.
The Hershey Kisses story. I'll save that one.
Why would you bring that?
Oh man, because it's funny. But we'll wait for him to come back down and do this.
Well, there's like two or three other stories.
Oh yeah, he's got several really good stories.
There was one that me and you, we bugged the piss out of him to go down to the fucking creek.
Oh yeah, we had to
He
leave
was
early.
Dog dead sick.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell y'all about my uncle? It was his birthday dinner, and we all went to Outback. So he sharded shit his pants at Outback
Oh God.
because I guess he was kind of sick. So he goes into the bathroom, didn't tell nobody. Instead of throwing his underwear away after he cleaned himself up, he tried to flush them down the toilet, dude, and exploded. The water started coming up all in the Outback bathroom and shit, dude. He ruined their pipes at the Outback.
And just
dude.
right in the middle is his shitty underwear.
And he straight up didn't tell us about that until after we left. So he, like, days later, he was like, hell yeah, I kept this story. Because he went in there, ruined their bathroom and Outback, came out of the bathroom, sat down like nothing happened, dude. He was just... like,
Oh my word.
Just ruined their fucking bathroom, dude.
There's no worse feeling than clogging a toilet, though. In all reality, like if you
have-
go to somebody's house and you clog their fucking toilet,
Dude, I heard
and there's not a plunger nearby,
there's
bro.
this dude. He went to this chick's house. It was like a first meeting, all that stuff. At her dorm room. He
It's just like an internet story.
yeah, shit in her bathroom, clogged the fucking toilet, destroyed the bowl. There was a window outside. The water started coming up, going all over the floor. He got out the window, blocked her number on everything, and just went home. Left, never talked to this lady again. Just ruined her bathroom. They like called the police and everything because they were like, "Are you still in there? What's going on?"
Oh my
And he
word!
escaped out the window after he ruined her toilet and fucking went home.
He didn't want to deal with that embarrassment, did he?
Yeah,
God, I couldn't imagine.
hilarious.
I could not imagine. I've never physically floated a toilet.
God, I've heard a bunch of these. Where
Oh
this
shit.
dude
I have.
went to
I
like
know you have.
went to amusement park with his family, and he was driving. He sharded a little bit. He hit it instead of throwing his underwear away. He put them in like right there in like the crease between the driver's seat and the door.
Oh God.
And so they went to the amusement park all day, all that shit. His daughter goes whenever they are going to leave, opens the door and goes, "Oh my God!" Pulls up the underwear. There's a huge brown shit stain all over the back of the fucking underwear. And his
We're gonna have to name this episode Skid Mark.
his wife just looks at him and just goes, "What, dude? Come on!"
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine. I'm glad that my only downfall in this world is my socks.
What's wrong with him?
Nothing. It's just my wife. She gets irritated. I'll take my socks off right by the bed, drop them in the floor.
Is there just a stench?
I do the
there's no
exact
stench.
same
There's no
fucking
stench.
thing.
There's no stench. It's just 17 days worth of socks laying by the bed.
Dude, speaking about women, dude, I have a theory.
A theory
I heard about
women.
this. Dude, they're all stuck in 8th grade. Like, their brain fully develops by the time they're in 8th grade, and that's how they act for, like, the rest of their life.
I disagree.
They never grow.
I disagree. My wife is very independent, very mature. She knows what she wants in her life. She's very calm, level-headed.
Yeah.
She's, we're right on par as far as our lives are concerned. So I would disagree with that one.
Yeah. Other women, I'm talking about dog brains.
I would be willing to say that the majority of the women.
What about Karens,
in
too?
our generation? Yeah, they stopped maturing about 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah.
I would be willing to say that the majority of women, and that's the problem ultimately. And I'm sure every generation before us has been exactly the same. You get those ones that just get stuck in that high school girl mentality, and that's where they stay.
You see that?
No, I can't see it from here.
Dude, we are beasting. How are we getting so good at this? 59 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I would say
Oh
that
shit.
It went silent. Dude, hold on. What just happened right there?
What?
Turn around. The screen went off. No signal.
Fuck, what has happened here?
Oh, we're good?
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
It's still recording.
2160p, I've never heard of that.
You may be having performance issues.
Fuck.
Are we good? Is it still going?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Alright.
I don't.
So we good?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay. Technology issues,
Apologies.
guys. Technology issues.
Apologies.
We're still new to this.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to. I'm not buying a new computer.
Dude, just keep
sending.
sending it with that. How old is that?
Yeah,
computer?
good luck. The good thing you just said that.
Taiwan, dude.
No,
This one's about 5 years old, and
I
it was
went-
just a Walmart basic PC. So
I went to look for one, just like what you have to
No.
run the camera and everything. Good luck trying to find one.
yeah,
If you are going to find one, you're going to pay about $700.
I don't remember what that one cost. I think it was like somewhere around $440.
Good
I just
luck.
bought. I literally just bought it so I could if I needed to print something or if I needed to make a spreadsheet or something. I just wanted something that was capable enough to do that. It's not a gaming PC, even though it's advertised as a gaming PC. It does not have the power to play games. Trust
Dude.
me. I installed Warzone on it and it was terrible.
Where's that red laptop, dude?
Back there, it's these
That
black
is-
shelves under the desk. It's back there on just the bottom shelf under my router in the room, and it just
That laptop is
just
from...
stays with the charger on top of it. I just leave it.
That laptop is so old, dude. It's from like 2018, and it was. You know how like every laptop has like a little thing. It's like for gaming, and it's like, and a lot of them like the new ones say 4K and all that shit
Yeah.
on it. That one just says 1080p, dude. This is
Hell
fucking-
yeah.
That's how old that motherfucker is.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
it won't even turn on unless it's just
Plugged in.
on charge.
Yeah.
Dude. It'll just die instantly.
I've really enjoyed this computer. It's done well. I don't understand why we're starting to have performance issues. I'm not buying another one. You just hang it up.
Dude, it's gonna be like that PS4, dude. Eventually, where
It's
you
just
turn it on,
gonna
it's just gonna
crash.
go. Dude, even
Just a
running.
jet turbine.
Does your PS4, whenever you run YouTube on it, does it still go fucking?
Bro, I've not booted my PS4 and I couldn't tell you how long.
I need to clean my fucking room, dude. I got shit everywhere. Now
Yeah?
I'm thinking about my PS4. That
Time
just
to do a
brought
little
whole.
spring cleaning, is
That
it?
just brought, dude. I haven't cleaned my room in like 4 years. It's fucked up in there, dude.
So,
For example, the running joke every time we play PlayStation, that same controller with fucking Chick-fil-A sauce all over
Bless
it.
that controller's heart. There's a controller laying in the corner of his room. Upside down. The analog sticks are touching the carpet.
And I stepped on a Chick-fil-A sauce, blasted it all over the controller.
It's got Chick-fil-A sauce, just like it's not even the color of Chick-fil-A sauce anymore. It's kind of like just dark brown, burnt color across the back of it. This motherfucker will send me a picture of it like once every 6 months. It's still in the exact same spot with the exact same stains on it, and I just say, bless that controller's heart. It's been laying there.
Is it a PS4 controller?
It's a PS5 controller.
Dude.
It was the one that came with his PS5.
Shout out DualSense.
And he
the
just
best
dropped it
controller
into the
made.
corner after he bought his scuff. Never touched it again. And now it's just covered in Chick-fil-A sauce, growing its own consciousness, just laying there. Just, I can't believe I've been abandoned
Dude.
like this.
Tell the story about that scuff that I gave you, that orange one that you tried your
Okay,
best to
so
fix it.
for years, Hagen had managed to talk me into getting a scuff, and I didn't want to buy one because I couldn't justify spending $200 on a fucking controller. So, what's he do? He goes out and buys the PlayStation DualSense. Is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah, the
DualSense.
DualSense.
The DualSense.
Where the USBs come out of it.
Yes,
and
I've got
everything.
one right here. I can show you.
You didn't understand me for the longest about that DualSense. Change of subjects. I literally, I think I had to send you the video about it, and you watched that video and complete.
Of the removable analog sticks and the button customizations.
I swear, whenever
and
I
all
sent
the,
you that shit, I think you literally were sitting here watching that 2 minute long video and all just like,
Yeah, because I'd seen that. I was like, this is the most legendary controller compatibility I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit.
Because you kept trying to tell me
you can
about,
change what your back paddles do. You can create like 4 profiles for different games.
You were trying to tell me about like what's it called? The stick drift?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm telling you, they solved it. And you were like, no.
There's just no way.
And then I sent you that video and you were like, what?
Yeah. Well, after I dug into it, it was, they've stopped using the copper potentiometers.
You could take
and
the
they
whole
started
fucking
using
controller off.
magnetic potentiometers.
And it USB. You literally undo the controller, take it out USB, and then you put the other USB
Well,
in.
I don't know if it's USB. It might be USB-C, maybe.
Yeah.
I have not taken mine apart yet, and I refuse to.
Yeah.
Because I put a cover on it, I put all that shit on it, and it's working perfectly, and I'm never going to take it apart.
Yeah, with the little back paddles and everything.
Yeah,
there.
everything's perfect.
I can't
put
play
cover
with
on it, I covered it. It's
Are you the
best
same way
$200.
now, too? Where you cannot play with a regular controller anymore?
I can't, if I don't have back paddles, I can't play a game.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can't play a game.
But we back to that
I had
orange fucking
we
scuff.
We were playing Warzone on Modern Warfare 3. Okay, we were like no life in this shit. Playing this, hey, we were doing our best to play it every night.
Dude, for like 3 hours. Warzone 3, Rebirth Island, it might be the greatest.
Rebirth
game I've
Island,
played.
Ashika Island.
That's as close as Modern Warfare 3 Warzone was as close as they've ever gotten to getting that Black Ops 2 feeling back into Call of Duty.
Anyway, I can't. You're throwing me off because, oh my god, the stuff that they're doing to the Warzone right now, bro. I want to play it so bad. I want to play it so bad because it's like classic.
I'm on strike.
Oh my god, it's original Warzone. I can't believe it. And I've been watching this Jack Frags guy on YouTube. He's playing it. He's posting a video every other day. And he's like, I can't believe that they have finally brought this game back. It's so fun. I'm addicted again. I can't believe it. I booted it up one time, got 3 kills in the pregame lobby, and went, cool. Haven't played it since.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the orange control.
Yeah. Back to this. I had been playing Warzone on just a basic PS5 controller for as long as it had been out. We've been playing MW3 Warzone all this time. And he was like, dude, you got to get a scuff or you got to get a DualSense. You got it.
I got the DualSense.
He got his DualSense. He got his DualSense. And he said, come pick up this orange scuff controller that I've got. It's got the pack paddles and everything on it. Come get it. And I said, all right, I'm coming to get it. And this had taken months.
Yeah.
This had taken months. First time I'd ever seen you since high school.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first time we'd seen each other in person since high school.
Played video games every night for like 4
Played
years.
video games for years. And this is the first time I've seen him in person was to go pick up this controller. So he hands me the controller. Beer in the hand. And goes, so it's got like really, really bad stick drift in this stick. And like even worse stick drift in this stick. And sometimes the sprint button just doesn't work. And it gets stuck. It just started giving me all the ailments of this controller. And I was like, oh my God.
But I knew you worked on controllers too.
Yeah, so I brought it home and I completely stripped it. I mean, took it all the way apart. Everything, I took it apart. I replaced the potentiometers and the analog sticks. Took them out of a really good controller that I had, my black PS5 controller. Took the potentiometers out, put them in the new scuff. Replaced a couple of the buttons and all the D-pad and stuff. Replaced those from good controllers that I had. And rebuilt this controller. It worked really, really well for about 2 weeks. Next thing I know, I've got my dead zone sensitivity set to like 70. Because this fucker had terrible stick drift. The back paddles were so loose that sometimes they would work and sometimes they wouldn't. So it was just like I was constantly, like my gun was just all over the place. And I had gotten to the point where I was so adjusted to that controller that I knew I just needed to sit there and constantly move my analog stick to keep my gun straight. And I tried my damnedest to play with that fucking controller.
Because the back paddles were so good that you could not play without it. Dude.
Yeah, the slide and jump and all that right there on the back fingers, it was so great. So I got over the whole stick drift thing and kept playing with it. And it just got to the point where it was so bad. I had my stick drift sensitivity set to the max on Call of Duty.
Jeez.
To the max. And it was still, it would sit there and do this across the screen. God! So it took me fighting that controller.
And me sending him the video of the fucking DualSense Edge,
Yeah.
dude. And when I think that was the moment where he was like, I gotta get this, dude.
He sent me like a 3-minute review, the breakdown. I think it was like a Sony breakdown of the controller that you'd sent me. And I got to looking at that controller, and I looked at everything, all the effort they had put into it. And I went, oh my God, that is a masterpiece of control.
The whole stick drift thing where you can literally undo literally it's like, ain't it like 2 clicks where you just go click, click.
Yeah. And the fact
Take
that you
it
can
out,
pull
put
the
it back in.
entire analog stick module out of the controller.
And buy a new one. And it comes
Buy
with
a
an
new
extra
one
one.
for $20.
And it comes with an extra one, don't it? It comes
No,
with,
mine didn't.
Mine did. It came with an extra just in case, like a automatic, in case one of your stick
Yeah.
drifts goes into stick, you have one extra
Like
replacement.
mine was the controller, the back paddle assembly, and then there was an option to like, you know, because you got your back paddles,
And then they got the
and then
little
there's
dots.
back buttons.
Yeah.
Like they're a little bit shorter and they fit just the tips of your fingers.
There's dude.
Hey, dude.
Hey, buddy.
But yeah, it took him. He sent me like a 3-minute video on the review of this controller, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta buy that. I want that. Oh my God.
I think they're only $19.99 too to replace the
Yeah,
stick,
it's
too.
$20 just to replace the stick. So I went in there and I told my woman about it. I was like, I've got to get this DualSense controller. This thing is badass. Badass.
No,
Got my work bonus, bought one. Next thing I know, she's in there, and I went in here and I showed it to her. I got my cover on it. I got all my paddles on it. I'm like, babe, look at this.
Do you have like
too.
all your shit set to like Call of Duty, Payday, all
Yeah,
that shit?
everything.
Too? Yeah,
Everything. I've got 4 different options set up.
yeah.
So I took my controller in there to my woman and I said, look at this magnificent piece of technology. This is the new controller
Shut
that
up,
I got.
Japan, dude, and Sony.
And she went, are you serious? And I went, what? What? She's like, I just bought you one of those. Oh my God. It's on the way to the house right now. And I went, well, I guess it's yours. So now she's playing with a DualSense controller.
Probably
too.
can't get away from it. Either,
Can't get away
dude.
from it. It's
Dude.
it's just too good.
Might be the best controller ever made, dude.
With all of us talking about,
Xbox ain't done that yet either. have
no, they have
I don't
not.
think they have. I don't
No,
know.
they
Maybe
haven't
third
even-
party. Maybe third
Third
party.
party.
Third party
Scuff.
ones are not good.
The
dude.
company Scuff has came out with an Xbox controller for Xbox.
If there's going to be any third
Like
party
that.
brand that makes a controller, Scuff is going to be the one to go
yeah,
with.
Scuff is always going to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
But
That
on the
controller
topic,
was basically exploded by the time you were done with it, dude.
Yeah.
Because
terrible.
I had it the whole time I had a PS5.
It creaked. All the plastic didn't fit
Yeah.
anymore. It cracked and creaked.
Because I had already basically worn it out by the time I'd given it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I played on that for how long has the PS5 been out?
2020.
So that means I had already played on
2021.
that fucking
years.
half-ass brand controller for probably what 3-4 years already.
Yeah.
Gave it to you, and then
And we were playing Warzone of all things.
And I'm
Like,
sitting
the
there going-
hardest game on a controller ever.
like doing all that shit. Yeah, but that, God, I can't
DualSense
believe
just
they done
doesn't
it.
break.
I can't believe they done
with
that.
the topic of what all we're on, I'm going to bring this up. You're probably going to give me shit for it. Both of y'all are. But I am resurrecting my PS3
That's
from
awesome.
the dead.
Well, you shouldn't have to resurrect your PS3 from the dead because you never should have taken it apart into a million different pieces to begin with.
I'm gonna hook up my PS3.
I have a parts PS3 on the way.
Why? If
You
you're
see-
ordering a PS3, just use that PS3 and
Well,
transfer the data to the other one.
Here's the thing. It says parts only on eBay. I bought it on eBay for like $30.
Parts only.
Parts only.
So it's going to come with like a fucking shell, and there's not going to
No.
be anything in it.
No, it's got everything in it. It's got Bluetooth drive. It's got everything.
Okay, so why not just use that one as your PS3?
That's what I'm going to see if I can do. Is resurrect this parts PS3 that I have bought. If I can't,
Why?
Back whenever
There goes
Sony,
my microphone. Pause! Holding my microphone. We have returned. There it is. That's what I have to pay attention to later.
Oh yeah, dude. Jesse just shit on himself, dude.
Fucking
The entire microphone just went. Yeah, you know why? Because I do this.
Ran
And I
away.
do
You
it, and
dick with it so damn much.
And I do this, you know, so I dick with it.
Pause.
Well, I'm just constantly trying to make sure that I'm, close enough to it, and I move my chair a lot, so it's just like
A
I
doctor
like to
would
make
try
sure
to
that-
put you
I'm
on.
gonna tell you this once. Quit fucking with it.
A doctor would try to put you on synthetic meth, dude. ADHD medication. If he's seen how much you fuck with that mic stand.
I don't believe
Yes,
ADHD
he would end
exists.
up
I don't
putting
either.
you on.
I don't believe that ADD or ADHD exists.
Dude, imagine you just give your child, your 7-year-old, synthetic meth, dude. Is that not the craziest?
I was on Vyvanse.
And that was the truest
Yes.
statement too.
And you fell victim to the unfortunate reality that is the pharmaceutical companies, because I don't believe that ADD or ADHD exists.
And you know
You want to know why? You want to know why?
why?
Because everybody has what interests them and what doesn't interest them.
True.
And if you're not interested in it, you're not going to pay attention
Dude,
to
dudes
it.
don't want to sit in a fucking classroom at
Okay,
12
so
years old.
School is nothing but propaganda and bullshit. You're not
Perfect
interested in
example
it.
is Miss Stoker's classroom. dude.
Exactly. I'm
That's-
not interested in mathematics. That's why I'm a dumbass.
That's why we're sitting there.
But what do you enjoy?
Wrenching.
Wrenching. You like machines. You're
Jerking
you're-
off.
I love.
well, that's a side story. But you're interested in machines. You like machines.
Working on
and,
machines.
You know,
working
being
with.
there in the grease. You're interested in that. That's what interests you. You're not interested in mathematics or English language arts.
And
or-
to be
Honestly, I love
and to be honest,
I like social stuff.
Yeah.
where is mathematics going to come into hand working with a piece of machine? Where is that going to come in hand?
If you're not an engineer, it doesn't really matter.
No, we're
but,
talking
you know,
about ADHD, fake
what-
diseases.
the things that you focus on are the things that you are interested in.
You know you fail a drug test for meth if you're on Adderall.
Yeah, what do you know what Adderall is?
Synthetic meth. dude.
Literally
It's
meth.
literally meth.
It's meth.
Same chemical compound. So why would they
It's
give
like
that?
one element off
Why do they give that to a like 7-8-year-old kid?
because they make money off of it.
Okay.
1776 will commence again. dude.
That just brought up a very
Figure it out.
moment.
Spit it out.
The Family Guy,
Family Guy episode where Stewie is on Adderall and
No.
Brian takes it. There's an episode about that.
Bro, I've never watched Family Guy.
They gave
so I
Stewie,
have no
there
idea.
is an episode
Adderall.
on Family Guy where Brian goes in and figures out the secret behind of all of the pharmaceutical everything.
I mean, look, it's a
He
fucking cartoon.
found-
I cannot take this
but
as
this is proven.
proven by if it's coming from Family Guy. I can't take this as credible information.
Brian the dog in this cartoon.
My point lives. I can't take this as credible information. I've never watched it. This does not sound like it's credible information.
Jesse, Brian the dog, dude.
Brian the.
They're putting chemicals in the water.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Gay.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
Sick of this crap.
Okay, you're saying
I'm trying to find it. I
Oh,
will,
God.
I will
You want
show
to hear something
you.
that breaks your heart?
breaks my heart.
Yeah, we'll break your heart because
Okay.
it broke mine.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, War Mode was talking about how RFK was talking about the measles vaccine, and he said everybody needs to take it, dude. It broke my heart hearing that. I went, RFK, you fucking piece of shit. You're compromised. There's something. I can't believe he'd say some shit like that. Look, and that's the difference between us and fucking liberals, dude. We can call our own side out and say, you're full of fucking shit, old man. I ain't listening to you.
The measles.
he thinks there's going to be an outbreak and everybody needs to take the fucking vaccine. But literally everybody on our side was like, our side.
You have to look
everybody
at-
like us that's independent is sitting here just going, dude, stop this.
You have to look at all of the years that
hold
people
on.
have been.
Did it work?
You know,
Did it break your heart hearing him
a
say
little
that?
bit, yeah, because it's just like, man.
I thought he was the one.
But you got to take into consideration the amount of years that this country has went vaccinating its population with the measles vaccine, which I can assume is one of those few that came out there in the beginning that were actually credible and worth taking. You know, like smallpox and all this stuff. Like, I get it. There's some credible vaccines that were made back when science and pharmaceuticals were actually worth having around. So, how many hundreds of years have we been inoculating our population to these diseases? You're not going to bring up one of these old diseases that... You can't do that. There's not... Look how much of your population has already been naturally inoculated to this disease. There's not going to be an outbreak. Because what does our DNA do to our children when we make children? If you've been inoculated to this disease and you're already immune to it, and it's not going to be a problem anymore, what does that do? It passes on to your children.
Yeah.
It passes it on to your children. You cannot expect your children to get the diseases that you have already been inoculated for because that has programmed your DNA to pass that on to your children. That's the way that procreation works.
But they changed
They're turning the freaking frogs gay.
They changed everybody's DNA with the mRNA COVID vaccine.
the mRNA vaccination.
I don't think any of us did.
None of us did. This entire holler is completely free of the mRNA vaccination.
So I found it.
Are we going back to the Family Guy thing?
Yes.
God! All right.
You found a cure for cancer? How long have you had this? I don't know. When was that Who Let the Dogs Out song? You've had this since 1999? Carter, you discovered the holy grail of modern medicine. Why the hell would you keep it buried like this? I'll tell you why. Because there's far more money to be made in treating disease than in curing it. Why cure someone of cancer in a day if we can treat them for a lifetime and bill them every step along the way? What? That's insane. What you're doing here is criminal, and I'm going to tell the whole world about it. Is that right? Who's going to believe you? The internet? You'll be just another nutjob left-wing blogger. Security? You found a cure for cancer? How long?
Funny how the world changes. Now that's a right-wing thing to say.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm sure they got the cure to cancer, dude.
I'm so... Of course they do.
And they just want to...
Of course they do. Of course they have the cure to everything because they're dumping billions of dollars into scientific research. Of course they know the molecular makeup of every disease ever known to man, and they have a cure for it.
That's not what
are
Carrie
they-
Mullis says. That called out Dr. Fauci and then died right in 2019 from heart failure, right before this shit
Allegedly.
happened. He said-
CIA heart attack.
He was the one that was like, dude, Fauci thinks you can put a fucking blood sample underneath the microscope, and if there's a fucking disease in there, you're going to be able to find it. He's like, that's not how that fucking shit works. And then all of a sudden he just dies. Right in what, like 2019, 3 months before the whole COVID bullshit happened, dude? Shout out Carrie Mullis, dude.
Yep. I remember that.
I showed you that shit and you were sitting here looking at me like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The dude that invented the PCR test that got all these people...
I just wish that I could find the true people.
Dude, he's the
Behind
dude.
all this
He's the
bullshit.
dude that invented the PCR test, where you can change the frequencies.
Yep.
That got all these people's chickens killed because they tested the chickens with PCR test, and then made the price of eggs just go way up, dude. Dude, why would they do that? Just to try to fucking...
it's all about
pressure.
control and pressure and
I'm telling you, if I was a chicken farmer and I had gigantic... You know, have you seen the chicken farm with the gigantic fucking warehouses full of
Yeah.
chickens? If somebody showed up from the fucking CDC with a goddamn PCR test and was like, you're going to have to kill every fucking one of these, I'd...
all those level 4 plates.
I would be killdozering soon.
yeah, you just... That's the disgusting reality that we live in. You see what's going on, but There's so few of us that are actually.
But more and more people are waking up, though.
Yeah, but I just don't think there's ever going to be enough of them.
Right now, there's a ton. Which is why Trump won. And
Allegedly.
won the popular vote for the first time since we've been alive. Which is crazy. Well, Kamala, might have been the worst candidate of all time.
Yes. Biden.
I'm still just.
Did you ever feel bad
Stuck.
for
No.
I'm saying
I don't feel bad for anybody in
I'm
politics.
saying-
I don't feel like it bad for anybody.
Did
in
you ever feel
government,
bad
'cause
for
it's
Joe
like-
whenever he was up there and he was like couldn't talk? And did it ever feel like that his handlers and his family was like just abusing him, just throwing him up there?
No, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel like the majority of going back to that previous point that I'd made, like, you know, look, politics and governments and countries.
Allegedly, Hunter Biden got a foot job from his niece.
all of this shit
Allegedly.
is just bullshit. It's a waste of time.
Killdozering soon.
It's a waste
Allegedly.
of time. I mean, you know,
Okay,
going
but
back to the
everything-
whole we're floating on this blue marble together. Get the fuck over yourselves and stop fighting about this stuff. But hey, you know,
How about this?
How do you know it's a marble? Question everything, dude.
we're in this consciousness together? Then
How about this?
why fight about this stuff? You know, I
How
don't-
about this? How about I just go buy a dozer and we armor plate it, the three of us, and go commit fucking tax fraud?
Allegedly.
yeah,
How about that?
I don't know.
We need to get this thing back
You know,
on the
I'm-
fucking rails.
I am so.
I need another beer.
I am so out of tune.
Because we were ripping there for a minute.
I don't pay attention to this stuff. I don't, you know. I try to stay updated on what the world's doing, but I ultimately just do not care.
Yeah.
I do not care. That is not my life. Until somebody shows up on my front door.
And we were talking about that before the cast with the fully developed brain. I don't know if it's just being, 25, or if it's just you finally just sat back and reflected and just went, let me just get my...
That has been.
Let me just sit down and reflect and really just get everything together and say, finally,
Shut up.
sit there and finally just say, okay, this is, I know exactly, because you know exactly what you need to do. And I wonder if you sat down and reflected and just went, because I was doing that same thing that you were doing right after I got broken up with, where you sit down there and you reflect and you go, what actually is important? What should I worry about, not worry about? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I've never been one to even worry about anybody else's feelings, probably for a long time. But
I did.
What you were talking
struggled,
about
I
was
struggled with that for a very, very long time.
like worrying about people's feelings and like how they feel and wanting everybody to be happy, and then you literally just sit there one day and reflect like you did and just go, I can't make everybody happy. I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna do what I want. Basically, live your own life and not have to worry about anybody else.
When I started working is really when it started to come into me. I was like, you know what? I want to be number one in
It's
everybody's lives. I want to be the best employee. I want to be the best boyfriend, husband. I want to be the best brother. I want to be the best son. I want to be the best everything. And I was so worried about what everybody else was thinking. If I was doing, this or that, and what's somebody thinking? Did I say the wrong thing? Did I hurt their feelings? And once I made the decision that, look, I'm not going to be babysitting anybody else's emotions anymore. I need to do what I feel is right and do what I think is fueled by common sense, essentially. Like, I have a life, I have priorities. These are things that I need to be doing.
And fuck what everybody else thinks.
I
dude.
cannot be constantly stressing myself out because I carried it felt like hundreds of pounds of just stress and anxiety on my back and in my chest and in the back of my neck. It felt like somebody had sandpaper right there all the time doing this. And it was like, I can't get the world to shut the fuck up for the minute. Let me think and figure this out. And once I finally made the decision, like,
Just
look,
let it go.
just look, I'm going to do what I enjoy, what makes me happy, what makes those around me happy. What do I need to do? I just need to be me.
Yeah.
Just be me. And everybody's just going to have to deal with it one way or another. If you're upset with me, that's kind of your problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of your problem.
Because I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to keep doing what I want to be doing. It's not up to you what I'm doing. I'm no longer taking your opinions to heart. I'm taking them to my mind. I'll consider and respect your opinions, and I'll consider them when necessary. I'll respect your opinions, always. I'll consider them in my decisions when necessary. Other than that, I'm going to live my life, do what makes me happy, do what I enjoy, and do what I feel like is right. I shouldn't have to worry about what everybody else thinks about me.
And
Once I made that decision, it was just...
Like if somebody calls you and is like, hey man, I'm pissed at you, all that shit, over some bullshit, and you're just like, alright.
Okay.
Bang. I'll see you later.
Look, I'm doing what I enjoy. I'm hanging out with the people that I want to be hanging out with. I'm doing me. This is me. And essentially, it's a little bit of me coming out of my shell. Because like we talked about before the episode, man, I've had a hard time ever talking to people. And I've been terribly social. Like, I'm not real good at socializing. Not good at talking to people. Not good at expressing myself in the way that I think and the way that I feel. And now that I have finally overcome that, it's like my whole life has changed.
And
I feel so much better in myself in the way that I'm living my life.
me and you, not bragging or anything, but we have been trying to do the whole mind, body, spirit shit, where it's like work out, get your mind right, and then and always be thinking about like the spiritual side of everything, and it all comes together. And it seems like if you have all that shit together and you're trying your best at everything, dude, no matter what happens,
it's
you're good.
like your whole life just falls together like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it has taken us 25 years to finally... Oh, my God.
I never thought we'd put well, I don't know about you, but I don't even remember the last time, like, putting the controller down and just finally just saying...
Putting my PlayStation down was a huge catalyst into getting me started into this mindset.
Into this, like, basically mental journey of, like, what is actually...
Because we were so stuck in our own emotions, we needed a distraction. We needed something to
And
get out of the world.
And it probably puts us back into, like, that kind of kid-like mindset where you're like, oh, I'm safe, I'm going to be fine.
I wake up happy every day. I'm waking up, I'm looking at sunrises. I'm sitting on the back porch in the evening watching sunsets, listening to the birds and listening to the wind blow. And it's just like, man, this feels like I was a kid.
And we talked about that as like why does the old man, like the older man that's like 50, 60 years old, how can everybody always looks at him, it's like, why is he sitting on the front porch in his rocking chair, drinking a beer,
just staring
in silence, just sitting there on the front
because
porch?
that's the most bliss you're ever going to feel in your life, because you know that your life is under control and you're happy with where you are.
I always wondered that, and now that I do it with my dad, because I'll sit on the front porch with my dad out in the sun, and we sit there and just bullshit, and I'm like, this is it. This is like probably the best moments of my life.
I'll go out there and sit on the back porch, make my breakfast, which consists of a ribeye and 3 eggs.
Wife's inside, daughter's running around playing.
And sit there on the back porch and just eat my ribeye and just happy as freaking could be. And it's like, I hate that it took me this long
to figure out,
to
holy
finally
shit,
get here.
The old men were right.
There you go. Yeah. You look at life a certain way. You carry yourself a certain way.
And as long as you're doing what you need to do, you're fucking good
it's
to go.
Done. It will be taken care of for you.
Yeah.
And that, and
we were talking
ties
about
back
that.
into the whole God thing.
And we were talking about that shit. And he was talking about, and we were talking about how he'll throw just meteors to just into your life to see, because he knows you're strong enough to fucking get past them.
I do believe that's when your pride gets a little too big.
And he'll nuke you.
He throws a rock at you and says,
yeah.
Now sort your shit out.
And then, but, and that goes along, that like ties into like karma. It's like you're down bad now, but let's see what happens. This is going to cause cause and effect, like the butterfly effect.
This is
Something
going
else
to put your
something else,
mind
something else.
into this thought process, which is going to lead you to this thought, which is going to lead you
And
to
then-
this belief, which is going to lead you to this action, which is going to lead you to the next.
It's like a
chapter of your life.
slingshot. It's like you're getting slung down low to the pits.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden,
You think you're at
good.
the bottom now. Here's the actual bottom.
and you think you're at the top at the moment before it goes fucking totally sideways and he throws that meteor at you, you're like, man, I got it all together. I got all this shit. And the next thing you know, nothing.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take all of that away from you, and you're going to have to rebuild yourself back up, which is going to lead you through all of these thought patterns and these decisions and these beliefs, and it's going to alter the way that you think in life and ultimately bring you up to an even higher platform than what you thought you were on.
And then you're going to think, dude, just imagine, you think you're on that finally. You're
Yeah,
like,
you
I'm
think
good,
you're
I'm
at
good,
the
I'm
peak
good,
of the
I'm good.
mountain.
And then next thing you know, he goes, hey, it's about time again.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're in the canyon and you're
going,
looking up.
God, wow.
Yeah.
And it
then
was
next
like that
thing you know,
meme.
you're on top. It's a constant cycle.
It was like that meme. Why do you keep giving me your toughest battles, dude,
Stop.
over and over again?
Stop giving me your toughest battles every freaking time.
And that's what, like, it's about wisdom. But like that shit teaches you wisdom, and like you said, new thought patterns, new shit. And what is it? Jones said that on Rogan. Life is always changing, no matter what. That's all. That's all life in the world is.
Garrett.
That's all life in the world is constant change. It never fucking stops.
Yeah, it's never idle. It's never static.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
Always something fucking going on. I learned a lot from working at FedEx, seeing that shit. Just watching people come and go, watching just clusterfuck after clusterfuck after clusterfuck, and just sitting there. Literally at this point, after working there for so long, it's like,
You get to see a lot of people that are really living in their egos over there too, I'm sure.
yeah,
Like these people that are so just consumed in their own little bubble that they're not looking any further than their own little bubble. And it's like, man, fuck you. And they're gone. And it's just
yeah.
like,
Well, that's a lot of truck drivers because they don't have coworkers. Really, you like don't have coworkers. There's probably like a reason why they got a bunch of ego. Is you're solo, the captain of the ship all the time.
Yeah.
In the chariot. That's probably why. But I'm just saying that taught me it's taught me a lot about the way people are in life and all different kinds of fucking people coming from every fucking background, watching them come and go, and me just being in the constant same position. I'm still there every day. I'm like an M statue over there. I'm still there every fucking day, but I've watched the shit change.
yeah.
And it's a fucking wild thing to be a part of.
I can imagine.
And I always say, the old classic, if these walls could talk over here, they'd fucking scream, dude. That. And then, what else were we talking about before we started the cast earlier, too? Because that was the deep one where you were sitting there going, man, I've just been sitting back reflecting.
I have been. I've really been spending a lot of time in my head here recently just trying to figure out the way that I feel about how I'm
And do
gonna
you
live
think
my life.
do you think it has to do with the fully developed brain, finally, as
I really do.
dudes, where you're sitting here and we're so far detached from. That's what I was talking about. Still playing PlayStation, you still feel like you're a kid in at home because we played PlayStation our whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But once you cut that out, for after like a month or two or three of not playing every day, every night, you know what I'm saying? Your brain, and plus it being fully developed, it starts going, what is that? We're not kids no more. And
I start having much more complex, in-depth thoughts.
being 25, I think reason for the fully developed brain, and then like looking deep into yourself and all that shit. You're so far. What is it? 7, almost 8 years now from senior year of high school. You're so far detached from that part that I wonder if your brain starts going. You ain't
It's
kids
time
anymore.
to start thinking
It's-
long term.
Yeah, like it's time to really get your fucking shit together.
And it's almost like you can figure out all of your long term shit real quick.
And then
I know what I'm going to do. I know the decisions I'm going to make.
And what
I know,
you were talking about, like that social anxiety, not really social anxiety, but like always wanting to please everybody.
Yeah, I wanted everybody to be happy with me. I wanted to be number one in everybody's life. You know, I wanted
that
to be.
starts to get ripped away slowly.
Yeah,
as you get older, because
then
you realize, yo, this is me, and
there's
I gotta
one day that Band-Aid just gets ripped
I got to
off.
take care of myself. And if you're mad at me, so be it, man. I don't give a fuck.
And that's been a very recent revelation for myself.
You're a grown ass man too.
Figure it the fuck out. Stop acting like a bitch.
Exactly. Stop acting like a girl.
What?
That's you. God.
That was supposed to be a funny moment.
Well,
That's wild, dude.
it's crazy how it all just comes together.
Then they say the old saying, you're only going to be as good as the 5 people you surround yourself with.
4.
What?
He's just being a retard.
And that's why you see those people that are drug addicts all hanging around drug addicts. They're going to stay fucking drug addicts because they ain't trying to... Dude, I never got it. I remember, like, being younger, 19, 20, I was fucking drinking, smoking weed every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Just not giving a shit.
Yeah. Living on your impulses.
I still drink quite a bit.
Whatever
now.
brought you immediate pleasure that's what you wanted to be doing.
That, and then a bunch of my past relationships were just... Dan, I've learned so much from all this shit. It's fucking crazy.
My nicotine has disappeared.
It is in the floor.
It is.
It is. You fat shit.
Mega pack.
Don't
I don't want to hear it.
get me started.
I'm not fat.
You're fluffy.
Not even that. I am fabulous pimp.
Pause.
Look up the body mass index chart, dude. Let's see where Garrett's at.
BMI chart.
Yeah.
Are we gonna look where Garrett's at? Garrett,
What's your height?
5'10".
What's your weight?
280.
You put it in. Male, 5'10", 280. Morbidly obese is my guess.
279. And you're how tall?
5'10".
5'10".
What's 5'10" in inches?
12 times 5 is 60. 70 inches.
70?
Yeah.
It's not even on the chart.
$70 off the chart. You're off the chart, dude. Morbidly obese. All right.
You're living your best life. And look, I know I've talked until I was blue in the face probably more than a
You
dozen
tell him
times.
it's not good for your health to do that shit, dude.
Talked to you till I'm blue in the face a dozen times plus. Why won't you do it? Do it. Do it.
Because
Why?
I'm happy where I'm at.
If you're happy with yourself and you're happy with your life, that makes sense. But I know better.
I'm happy where I'm at, and
I know better.
But it's not good for your health, is what we're
I
saying.
know better because not too long ago, bro, you wouldn't even step on the scale because you didn't want to know what that number was. And I've done nothing but talk till I'm blue in the face trying to help you, and you still won't listen to me.
All right.
Dead air. Maybe that's a little too personal.
Yeah.
I love you and I'm doing everything for you, but
I know. I'm happy where I'm at.
Ribeyes and eggs every day. Ribeye, 3 eggs every day. That's all you need. That'll fuel you the entire day. You could do it. You make your own money. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Man. We good?
I reckon. What time is this? 3:46 in the evening.
1:45. Hold on, I'm gonna wait 8 more seconds.
8 more seconds.
We're gonna get 1:45.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Baby.